Here are some interesting things in addition to what's in the book about Edwin Booth, because I don't think that he deserves to be remembered as John Wilkes' brother, as the brother of the man who killed Lincoln. Now, Booth had been born into a theatrical family. The Booths were all actors, the father and his two brothers, who were thought to be actually more talented than he was, but the historical record didn't bear that out because Edwin was the one who was really thought of as the most brilliant actor in America. Probably the most significant thing that the textbook mentions that people really remember about Edwin Booth is his 100-night run of Hamlet in New York City, which doesn't sound like that long now in a time when Broadway shows run for years and sometimes decades. But back then, it was a really big deal, and it didn't happen again for like 60 more years after Edwin Booth's run as Hamlet. Hamlet being no small role to undertake. The 100-night run was also during the Civil War. It was in 1864. And one thing that we tend to notice in history is that a lot of times artistic activity is suppressed during a time of war. So to me, that just makes it even more impressive that Booth was that appreciated for playing Hamlet. Now, he ran his own company, as your book mentions a little bit later on, and there are a couple of things in the later part of his life that I think deserve special notice. One is that he seemed to be very respected. And we've talked before about the double standard that exists in society toward theater people. You may be respected in one moment, but you may be looked down upon morally in the next moment. Well, Booth made a great effort to make a theater profession an honorable one, and he was taken seriously in elite circles of culture and literature, and with his following as this sort of brilliant actor, he possibly could have raised the standing, particularly of the profession of acting within New York society. But also during his time that he ran his company, he was responsible for advancing the art form. So not only is he credited with lifting up the art form and making it more honorable, he also helped promote advances and innovations in the art form. And one of the things that I'm thinking of in particular is his interest in visual achievements in design. For example, he helped to promote the importance of historical accuracy, which during the 1800s was just becoming a thing that occurred, and he was one of the front runners in that desire which didn't really take off until much later after the advent of realism. Another thing that he did was he had a fly system, an early fly system in his theater so that he could do a lot technically, and he is really thought to have been a good collaborator with visual artists in the theater to move the art form forward. So, some things about Edwin Booth that have nothing to do with John Wilkes and some things that make him established in his own regard as one of the great actors of the 19th century.